Theatre of Others podcast. I'm Adam Marple.
And I'm Dr. Budi Miller.
And we're the co-artistic directors of the Theatre of Others.
Our goal for this podcast is to build an international community of artists drawn together by a shared curiosity in what role theater has to play in confronting global crisis and creating new, thriving communities.
Each week, we'll peel back the curtain on our own views, debates, and speculations. We invite you to join us in these discussions, even criticize us if need be. Let's find the way forward together.
Hey, Adam.
Hi, Budi.
How it going?
Caffeinated. Sun is coming up. We've got a brand new intro that we've heard. It's 2025. That's right, 2025. Here we are. Woo!
2025. And guess what I learned in 2025?
What'd you learn?
It's taken me decades, but I finally know all the words to the first verse of the Black National Anthem.
First verse. I mean, there are like five.
Not the first verse. The first stanza.
Yeah, the first exact stanza. There you go. Yeah, it's a long song.
It's really beautiful. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. The poetry of it, I could never lock it in.
Mm.
And then I had this fantastic actor, Miss Keisha J. She taught me how to embody the song. And then when we get to the rolling waves, we were actually on the black sand beach when she was like teaching it to me. And so I had all the images, facing the sun, starting a new day, listening to the rolling waves, justice. Justice for the Black people, Adam Marple. I want justice for the Black people, Adam Marple.
Just the Black people?
I want just us for the Black people.
Just segregation is what you're wanting?
I want just us for the Black people. Just us. Just us.
Didn't know that's what the song was calling for, but all right.
It's calling for just us. Just us.
Black National Anthem calling for segregation. All right.
Lord knows it didn't work with the white people. Oh!
We tried. We tried working with you. We tried.
Exactly.
We're just gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
White people are trouble. You know that.
I would say the cause of the vast majority of all the world's problems. White people.
The white people.
They were started by the white people. Now they may have been continued by other people, but they were started by the whites.
Yes, the first cancer and disease and virus of the earth was caused by white people.
I don't think we can go that far. I think we can. I don't think they invented the cancer.
Who's they? Are you disassociating from white people?
Yes, I am disassociating from white people. I am not claiming them.
You're non-binary in your whiteness.
I am white presenting, but I am not white.
Jesus.
I don't claim them. I don't want them. There's a lot of lovely things that they have given to the world, but there are a lot of things that they've not given to the world. It's kind of like the Catholic Church in that respect.
And thereby hangs the tail.
Exactly.
Theater, Adam. Theater will save us all.
Theater will save us all as AI comes and takes over, and there's nothing real. I was in New York.
Okay.
I miss the city tremendously. I haven't been there since 2018, and I was at MoMA, and I was looking at. There's this beautiful dance video, a woman dancing, and she's just doing like quotidian things in a kitchen. Cooking, cleaning, things like that. It's a beautiful dance. It's a gorgeous dance. But right next to it was some AI-made art.
God.
And I thought, as AI gets better and better, there's only a matter of time before what I'm seeing video, which was filmed in like the 80s, early 80s, some video art of a dancer. There's only a matter of time before that could also be made by AI. And I thought, as I walked around and looking at every single painting, It's only a matter of time before AI could do any one of these things. So then, what is art going to be? What is painting? What is sculpture going to be of value if we don't see the artist making that art? So the value will be in watching something live being done, because otherwise you'll never know if Damien Hirst made that painting or if he just let AI do it.
Okay, so if AI has made it, I think if AI has made it, and this is the Doctor Budi Miller speaking here. It's ornamental. It's not art.
Sure, but how do you know? How do that was my question, was how are we going to know if AI made it or an artist made it? The only way we will know if an artist made it is if we see the artist make it.
Then we need theater.
That's what it's going to boil down to. Like, and am I going to buy a painting from, again? I'm going to say Damien Hirst just because he's an artist that I do not like, because he doesn't actually,
Why?
because he doesn't
Why?
make it. He doesn't make his stuff. He has an idea and then he passes it off to somebody else to make. So I am imagining he's going to be the first AI artist
Okay.
creator. Um,
The
so
ultimate
then,
in colonial
yes,
privilege.
exactly. So unless you see him make that art, then anything, any AI could have made it. So will we want to pay to watch an artist paint? Will they need to sell tickets to them painting, and then the painting will have value because we know it was a human hand and human ingenuity that did it instead of something else? I don't know. I, I saw a moment in a
That's a
very
fantastic theater piece.
I
That's
saw
a
a moment in
fantastic
a
work of art.
very different way. Like I looked at MoMA and I thought, oh, we're about 15 years away from this all being obsolete, from this all being questioned, from this all being like, is it, isn't it, I don't trust it. Like the whole gaslighting that's been happening over the last 4 years has now moved into, just everyday representation. And the entire
So
museum.
then my question is, then would it be the responsibility of the institutions to only provide non-AI art to say,
but it,
now we are an art institution. This is art. That's ornamental.
but again, how will you know? How will you know unless you actually are there? How will you know? I mean, there's going to be so much gaslighting and forgery pulled off, and like, you won't really truly know. If you can type into a computer the parameters of the art that you want, and then it can literally paint on that for you, did you make it?
Okay, so let's put this into a Star Trek design. Okay, so we're on the ship,
We're on
and the
Star Trek.
ship has, yes, we're on a favorite show of yours.
Not really, but okay, we'll go
I
with your
know. That's
metaphor.
why. That's why I'm bringing it up because I know how much you love Star Trek.
It's fine. I
And
don't like it or dislike it.
don't give me fine.
It's fine.
It's a classic genre of
It's
of
true. Yes. Television and film. Yes.
yes. It's a fantastic brand, and everyone loves
IP.
it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So don't give me attitude because
I have no
there are
attitude.
Trekkies out there whose hearts you could be breaking if you don't
I
go along
have
with this analogy.
I like the analogy. I just have no feelings
I
about
didn't say
television.
analogy; it's an analogy.
Anal Aji? You want some anal Aji?
Analology. Is that like biology? Is that like
Yes.
vibology?
Yep.
Vibology. I got the
Vibology.
analology. I got the analology.
An 8 minute song called Analology to
Analogy.
the time
I
of
got the rim for
biology.
your lippy. I got that ain't. Do what you do when you do
Did you
what you do.
say
Oh.
did you say the rim for your lippy? Jesus. Oh my god.
Analology. And you have Paula Abdul going,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got the analology.
That makes so much sense. Maybe that's what that song is about. It makes so much sense, that song now. Ah,
Got to
it
do when you
burns.
do. Burns like fire. It burns like fire.
Yep. Okay, that song makes so much sense now.
Exactly.
So Star
So the
Trek.
analogy. So the analogy.
Yeah. Okay. So Star Trek. We're on the Star Trek Enterprise.
Okay, so if we're so are we living in like what they prophesied of like where you put or even the Jetsons, you push a button and then it's there. You push a
Yeah.
button and you have a Renoir.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the deadening of and making actually making the doldrums come true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
That's
can call it the deadening doldrum effect.
the deadening doldrum effect. And the only thing that will still have value will be anything that is alive.
And analogy.
An analogy. Exactly. There's a whole you Dr. Budi starting a whole new um, school of thought. Analogy.
Well, you have Cartesian thought and then you have
Hmm.
analogy.
Analogy. Exactly. Yeah.
So, and then, but then you can actually project an image on the anus, and then it'd be a fusion of Cartesian. So we
Mm,
could
mm,
it'd be canology.
mm.
Dway.
Uh, wow.
I miss you, Adam. I haven't seen you in a million years.
It's been a million years. It's true. I know. It's been forever and a day away.
I'm also coming off of a fantastic 3 weeks in Bali,
I know.
training. So like I'm in like total soft brain right now.
Yeah.
Micah and Chris Bays and I had a week of training, and then I did the visit with our BIPOC training um, in Bali for two
Yeah.
weeks, and it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And now I'm just silly. I'm just a silly.
She's
I'm a
a
big old
silly bitch.
bear. I'm a
She's
big
a
old bear.
she's a silly bitch.
I'm just a silly old bitch.
Yeah.
So the problem is when I'm like this silly, it's hard for me to even consume the ideas of problems with actors when I'm full of a world of actors that want to work and push themselves to the limit and integrate and interact with the Balinese culture and move outside of what makes them comfortable. So, it's difficult for me to make those kinds of adjustments for those actors that need to be fed with their ego. And so the hard part is like the same thing with looking at art and AI. It's like what's real and what's an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful
We should
segue.
talk about that today.
Beautiful segue. I love how beautiful that segue was, teeing it up so nicely.
You know.
No, 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 no. Don't make. That's not a thing. That's not going to be a thing. Don't make that a thing. We are hoping to be monetized at some point in the future.
We have money.
No, we don't. We're hoping to have money. Mm.
So what are we talking about today, Adam Marple?
We're talking about two words that I've only recently just started to encounter, which is accommodations and adjustments, and how you work in the room with performers, well, not just with actors, but with anybody. How do you make accommodations, or how do you make adjustments? And is accommodation too strong of a word? Is adjustment too weak of a word? Um, how do you work with people in the best, most safe, holistic way? And I think you've already kind of talked a little bit about going like, yeah, is this something that needs to we actually need to handle, like ADA compliant? We need a ramp so that our patrons can come in who um, maybe are in wheelchairs or need some accessibility. Well, that's an adjustment that's done versus an accommodation, which is we got to change everything so that
Can you give me some examples? Because I'm thinking of like when you cast someone, is it something that is it unspoken like is it an unspoken understanding that when you've been cast in a certain role that there's certain expectations that are required for the role?
Well, I would think so, but I'm a little confused now myself. I'm in an institution that is, I would say, overly safe in this regard, and
Hmm.
playing to the boundaries of over accommodating to the point where
Can you give
it
me some definitions? Can you?
yeah,
I need definition of these two things because I think we need to be on the same page.
yeah. Okay. Accommodate. Fit in with
The wishes of.
the wishes of. Adapt. Make something suitable for a new use or purpose. To modify. So we're talking
Okay.
about uh, agreeing to the wishes of versus modifying, and that's why they're very close to each other. But there's a stronger use of the word accommodate versus adapt.
Well, I think modifying is what happens in every production, right?
It should. It has to. Yeah. I mean, it's not cookie cutter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we modify all the time. Okay, I had a great idea. You should jump up on this bench, but the actor is not a good jumper. We changed that. Okay,
Sure.
right?
But the idea that no jumping can happen at all. I have
Oh,
to, as a director, I'm not allowed to ask for jumping or something like that.
oh, what?
Well, that's what I mean. Is like that's what you were getting to when you were talking about training with actors, which is this ego or is this an actual limitation that you carry with you? Like I was saying, like we've talked about, can we have different bodies in the space doing the work? Could the program that we do in the summer, or the program that you do, that you just got through doing there, could that handle somebody differently abled? They're wheelchair bound, or
Love
has
to have that happen.
to explore what that is, but the rest of the group continues to train the way that they train, and then this one performer we have to adapt to. We adapt for the situation for them. Their training is going to be a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Everybody
love
else
that.
is
I
everybody
love
else's
having
training,
difference in the space. Yeah, I love that.
but everybody else's training won't be their training,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it say we're in a scenario where because the work that we do deals with a deepening within what is really happening and where the really exciting stuff happens outside of your ego and desires to do well and be great and be praised, but actually going into a place that is a deepening, and it's uncomfortable. So you're saying that if I feel uncomfortable as actor, you're making me feel uncomfortable, so you shouldn't make me feel uncomfortable, and everyone around me shouldn't feel uncomfortable. And if you make them feel uncomfortable, you are bullying that person and making the place dangerous.
Possibly. That can be a scenario. It's not a scenario that I have necessarily come across, but it could go that way. Another thing is
Well,
going,
that's silly.
yes. Another thing is, why is why am I getting a certain kind of training and they're getting a certain kind of training? You're making me you're pointing out the difference in me. Everybody should have the same training, but because I can't do what they can do, they should be doing what I am doing.
This is what it became really complicated when we were making selections for students at the BCA and looking at the curriculum, and really wanted to select students that would excel at the training. And I don't think it has anything to do with like accessibility, or modifications that need to be made for a student to be able to access the material. I think it's a matter of mindset and actual desire to train in a vigorous way, and understanding that there are certain requirements to train in that way. I think there it makes me it makes me think of that it makes me think of that. Remember that video? What was it, like the socialist? political group in
Yeah,
San
this
Francisco, and they're
this
trying to make a
yeah. The Socialist
what is
Party of
it?
America, the Socialist Party of America meeting. Yeah,
Can you please put that in the notes?
yes, yeah.
Please put that in the notes. Y'all
Jack,
need to look at
it's
this.
and nothing got accomplished because again they were accommodating every single person's, I don't want to say tick or bug or whatever, but like every single person had something, and every single person in that room had to accommodate to that person. Please don't clap. Please don't say anything loud. Please don't use this word. And so
Don't wave
nothing,
your hands.
don't wave your hands. Like nothing got accomplished. Nothing got accomplished because everybody had to feel safe and comfortable.
But and what I loved is watching the woman who's trying to conduct the meeting, like slowly just
Hate her life and die inside. Yeah,
hate
you know.
her life and die.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was it? What was it? Point of contention? What did they say? Point of what is it? What was it?
I think it was point of contention or point of order. It should be point of order, but order is too communist language. So um,
Something of like point. Oh my God, Adam, you have to find it now. Point of reference. Remember, they like yell something to
yeah.
like stop.
And then somebody would stand up and yell and be like, can we not yell either? Can you not wave your finger when you tell me not to yell? Can you not interrupt me when you tell me to not wave my finger when I'm yelling because I stood up? Like it's everybody needed to feel comfortable,
Yeah,
which goes to our point
and
of saying like you can't make art and be comfortable. Like
I was
no,
literally going to say that. I was
yeah,
literally going to say that.
yeah.
Who wants to watch Comfort?
I'm afraid there are a lot of people who want to watch Comfort.
Name one show that you've seen that it's just comfort, that's rooted in comfort,
Rooted in comfort, like
other than My
it's
Dinner with Andre.
well, I don't know if it's rooted in comfort, but I am seeing a lot of theater that just wants to feel real comfy.
What does that mean, though? Can you unpack that for me? What does that mean?
Where the performers don't have to stretch and the spectators don't have to stretch either. It's just nice theater. And it's even a hard way to describe it that way of like it requires nothing of me. It's just like it just I'm there for it. It's empty calories.
What and why do you think that is? Why does that even get produced?
Ease, fear, um the world is crazy and dangerous and ugly, and I'm teaching this semester one person shows. We're devising
Well, you're an expert in that.
we're devising self-created work.
You're
And
an expert in that.
I had an actress, and I said, obviously, I want you to pick something substantial to talk about. Your situated perspective is what is interesting to the world. We want to know what you encounter, what you think, what is special about this work is you. And I had an actress come up and say, but what if I don't want to talk about something substantial? What if I just want to have fun? What if I just want it to be nice? And it took everything in my power to be like, nobody wants to watch that. This is the wrong medium for that. Like humor, yes, comedy, yes, um, hope, yes, all those things are great. But like, I don't want to just like watch you make a cup of tea and talk about cats. I don't want to like that's not interesting for this medium. This medium requires so much more. It deadens the medium to not ask something of a performer, to not ask something of an audience member. Um,
Well, I think Jack has brought up a really good comment around all of this. Can you read what he said in the chat?
oh, I just saw it. My sisters have never seen one of my theater shows. Yes, they live about an hour away, and I guess the shows are late, 7 p.m., but they think that theater is there to make you feel uncomfortable, and they have a vehement disagreement that they have to be subjected to that. But this extends even to like a drama where someone dies and you're made to feel sad or a real emotional reaction. That's too much type of vibe. Okay, well, I think Jack has used a word which is an important word, and it's vibe.
Ooh, okay. Let's unpack vibe. What are you talking about?
I think I think a lot of people are making theater. They're making vibey theater. They're making theater that is just a vibe.
And this and all their friends' jokes and that they all laugh at together.
Yeah, again, it's comfort. It's I my bubble is safe and I understand my bubble and I don't want to move outside of that bubble wherein it can be dangerous or unsafe or whatever.
Oh, they're looking for the vibeology.
They're looking for the vibology. And what we're trying to give is analology.
Analology, because we're analologists.
So, okay, so Jack, my question for your sisters would be then, are they watching film or television with that same idea?
That's what I was thinking as well. It's like, but see, but when you're watching, but this is the thing: when you're watching theater, and then he's Jack says, "That's what I said."
That's what I said to them.
Okay, Jack. But this is what I'm doing. Going back to the Cartesian effect as well. So when you're watching film and television, there's no commitment that you have to have.
Yeah.
When you
Especially now
are
that we can
actually in
pause
the
it and walk away, you
yeah,
know?
pause it, walk away, do other things while it's playing. They don't have to fully engage their whole body to gather the information in the story. When you're in the theater, it's asking your whole body to be interactive with it. So then if we go back to what we were talking about earlier around accommodation and changing to the desire of someone else's request to feel more comfortable, what do you want the audience to feel? that this actor is that this actor is comfortable, or that this character is changing me because I'm learning something from what they're going through. And that, once again, I want to be really clear about this. It's not just I'm not saying that you know different abled bodies and queer bodies and trans bodies and dyslexics and neurally diverse people. Like I want everyone, and I
Absolutely.
want everyone on the stage.
Absolutely.
I think it's always more interesting because as a provocation for us as artists to figure out how we can actually fulfill the story in the closest way we can safely, and that's not contingent upon someone's abilities.
No. I want to see virtuosity. And I know that virtuosity is different in every single body. And so if we all if again, and I apologize for this metaphor here, but like let's say, and I'm not saying that this differently abled person is the lesser actor, but if everybody has to train down to that level, then we're not having virtuosity of different bodies, we're having the virtuosity of the one body. And
And
then
I'm
there's
thinking, look,
there's not
I'm
a
thinking of,
multiplicity there.
but see, I'm thinking of different ableness as a training up to, because it creates a whole nother vocabulary.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying is like there should be a multiplicity in the room. And if you accommodate what I'm finding the accommodations are doing in an educational system here, at least for this one place, the accommodations are deadening everybody else's training. We are all agreeing to come to be inside of this box instead of saying no, we go from here to here to here to here. We have a multiplicity of ranges of abilities and trainings and world perspectives and things like that, and that every actor can bring their full selves to the work instead of I can't do that because my scene partner isn't able to do that same thing, so I need to not do that thing.
Can you give me some examples of what you're talking about? I feel like you've got some examples that you're kind of dancing around.
Well, we've talked about this with trigger warnings before, and I think this is a good. I think we've had our audience kind of chime in on this before. Um, they're the trigger warnings that are being used at this institution are bizarre, like alcohol use, drug use,
Huh?
heightened language, allusions to
Heightened language
torture,
is a trigger warning? How is the heightened language a trigger warning?
because they consider curse words heightened language. Allusions to torture, use of a noose. I'm just it's constant. Like you gotta.
Okay, so this is where okay, so now we're talking about the difference between an educational institution and the real world. We were actually talking about this here at the visit because we were talking about um, triggers and actors that feel triggered in their work, and actors that, and I'm working with some incredible actors, and that there, it's one of the things that came up is like, well, what do you do when like your choices are very bold and the actor says they're feeling triggered about that? And it's like, it's hard to hear, but as you and I have been talking about, the triggers are the actors things that they need to work on, and actually be to be impeccable with your intentions, and say, well, I'm sorry that you feel triggered by that, especially if you haven't done anything that like has touched them inappropriately, or that and that are within the realms of the given circumstances of the work you're doing. It's like, well, then I think that's it's time for you to go to a therapist and figure out what's been being activated. And then also there are adjustments that you make, so that everyone feels safe in this scenario. But ultimately, when an actor feels that another actor is being triggered, then they can, that's I just think that's important for you to be able to understand that it's not your fault that someone else is feeling triggered, especially if you're working within the rules of what is considered to be a safe practice.
Yeah. Well, you just said there are adjustments to be made. That's what of course, there are always adjustments to be made. But the accommodation is don't do that work anymore because that triggers me. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like I have a very specific example, but I'm dancing around it because
Give me an allegory.
okay. Let's say that you, Budi, do a piece wherein you use a noose around your neck in a
Okay.
piece.
Okay.
Um, for you, for a black body, that has certain semiotic connotations,
Correct.
and the performer knows that this has certain semiotic connotations and is using that purposefully for that. For the audience member in this situation, um, all they saw was their friend hanging themselves, and they got quote unquote triggered, and they didn't like that, and they were very upset that they weren't told beforehand that um, a noose was going to be used, and they don't think it didn't feel safe for them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the question that was raised, or what was brought up, was um, you shouldn't do that. We shouldn't allow that to happen.
To do the work at all,
Yeah,
just because there wasn't a trigger warning.
I should have been told that this was going to happen, or it shouldn't have happened at all. Um, I should have had the option to not attend.
I feel like Tipper Gore and Dina Rohrabacher are in the audience.
And so it's a thing of going like, well, I actually think the piece was actually really powerful. I have problems in the fact that the performer didn't notify me beforehand, but I know the performer enough to trust them in this regard, that they are not suicidal, and that I've had plenty of conversations with this performer, the type of work that they're interested in making. Um, so I had issues with that, of going like, well, if you had let me know, I'd be okay with that. I could also help you do it a little bit safer.
to
But
navigate around to navigate around the audience's response.
yeah, but we had plenty of audience members very emotionally
About the hangman's
responsive.
noose,
Yeah. Um, and I
which
think,
is an
well,
allegory. Which is an allegory. It's not the real. It's not the real subject.
right, exactly. But I think that's why I think it was one of the more successful pieces, because everyone was emotionally involved in it. It wasn't an intellectual exercise anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, this is I've focused my research on the energy called taksu, which is the moment when the divine is present in performance. And one of the things that I feel when I recognize it is there's a bit of like the hairs on the back of my neck go up of like, this is kind of like out of the human realm. And even when an actor is working, there's this shift in their gaze where I feel a little terrified because it's not held in the ego. So it's like, and as you know, when I speak of the ego, I'm speaking of ego as a physical tension that we identify as self. So how we hold ourselves, the patterns of movements that regulate ideas of who we are, is what the ego is. And I was talking to the actors here about like only the ego has a problem with the ego, and you can't find release and awareness from the ego. The ego is just physical tension, and physical tension is an illusion. It contracts and expands. It contracts and expands. Anything that can be created or destroyed is an illusion. And so is theater. It's not real.
It's bumping up against the real, but it's not real.
Yeah, it's bumping up against the real, but it's not real.
Yeah.
If it was performance arts, it's another scenario where people cut themselves and really go up against, what is safe and what is not safe, and pushing the body to extreme limits. That's theater, and you're removed. That is the purpose, to be moved.
To be moved. Yeah. Yeah. To answer, Jack's sisters, like, do I want the audience to be uncomfortable? I don't think that's the word I would use, but moved. I want the audience to be moved. I want them to be shifted from where they were when they walked in. If if that is uncomfortable for them, then that's a byproduct of them, not of me trying to make them uncomfortable. I'm trying to shift the audience. I'm trying to move the audience because I have seen and I see so much theater that I am not moved at all from where I came in on. I'm actually probably moved backwards from when I came in. I am put back on my heels. I leave the
Well,
theater in a
it's an
worse mood than
institutional
I came in.
problem. It's an institutional problem because the very nature of many institutions is to stay safe so that they don't get complaints and so that students, and that's
Yeah,
that's the hardest part.
yeah,
You know, when when you get an opportunity to work at some of the best schools like you do, there actually is an avenue to be a little bit more provocative. And if a student is afraid to be provocative, I would say push it. Go for it. Push it. And what's great about institutions is then you just deal with it. It's not real. It's not real life. If you really want to explore something, go for it. Now's the time to go for uh, experiments that don't have real ramifications because it's not for the public.
I'll say, talking with all my colleagues here and in faculty meetings, all we want is rigor. All we want is
Yeah.
them to do that. For 4 years, you get to fail before you have to get out there, and you can't really fail anymore because it starts to track with you. To come here and like play it safe, I don't understand that. I mean, our dean actually had to like talk to the students and say, "Why are you trying to be perfect?
Yeah.
What do you think the grades are? Like once you leave here, nobody cares what your grades were.
No one cares what your marks were.
Even if you
No
were to
one.
apply for grad school, no one cares what your
No one
grades were.
cares.
Come
No one
here and
cares.
fuck it up and try."
Yeah. No one cares.
I told my students, I said, "You have an A. Now that you know that, what do you want to do? Do you want to play it safe and do nothing for the rest of the semester? Or do you want to throw everything at the wall knowing that you can't fail?"
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the other thing. It's like you get to put marks on the new system be pass fail. I
yeah,
think art should just be pass fail.
absolutely. You did it or you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You came to class or you didn't come to class. Full stop.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's it. Pass fail. That's it.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you've just gotten through 3 weeks of training. Which one of the students passed? Which one of the students got an
God.
A? Like their
Which scene
journey
was the
is
best?
yeah, their journey
Please.
was different. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Exactly.
there are people who
Exactly.
took all 11 days of doing nothing, and on the 12th day there was a breakthrough.
Yeah,
What's their
exactly.
grade? Or the person who came in hot on day one and then just got hotter. What's their grade? Like, how do you can't do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
pass fail. You
Which
can't.
was always my challenge for grading Chad. He always brought like You
Yeah.
know, our child, Chad O'Brien, he was the best student ever.
It's
Oh,
yeah.
he like always brought like a triple plus game, so it's hard to grade him.
Remember when we had that conversation one time in a faculty meeting about you can't give out A pluses, you can't give out 100s?
Oh my
Remember that?
God, yeah, yeah, I remember
Well,
that.
then why does
I remember
100
that.
exist? Why don't we just cap
Why
it
does
at
it exist?
90?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Well,
does it exist?
well, a 100 would be graduate level. It's like, well, then if they're giving us graduate level, then why don't we just give them a 100 and say,
Yeah.
like, yeah, use the full
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah. It's all a farce. It's
It
all a
is.
farce.
What was the fail? Very bad fail. What was? Remember what that was? Remember that?
Oh my God.
Irredeemable fail. What was it? Or something like that.
There's like four versions of fail.
There's four versions of fail. You can still proceed if you have one version of fail, but you can't have if you have the other version of fail. You failed this material, but we're going to continue you on because it wasn't an irredeemable fail. A
D's get
very bad
degrees.
fail.
D's get degrees.
Yeah. D's get degrees. Yeah.
I think we should should we take a break and come back and talk about some provocations?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary conforming individuals, you're listening to the stereo sounds of my daughter, J D B Jack David Burmester. And we're back. Wow. Chiquina
Jack's on fire.
on Fire gave us a new intro, and he's still
Mhm.
composing music. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that
I
boy!
know.
I swear.
I know. I know.
Yes, he is. He's a member of the House of Booty. I'm creating my own house. I'm thinking I'm going to break away from my. I'm going to break away from my house, and I'm going to create my own house.
The House of Budi.
The House of Booty. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, honey. Yes. So talk to me, Adam Marple. Give me a
All right.
provocation.
My provocation has nothing to do with our topic today.
Oh, what?
I know. I know. Well, maybe it does. Uh, Everybody come to work with others, come to board of directors, come to satsang, because just do that. It's I think this came out of a discussion that I had in my board of directors conversation. I had a director who was dealing with a performer who is needing so many accommodations that it's actually stopping the progress of the play. And literally my note to that person is at this point you just need to let them go. Um,
Oh, well, yeah. That's how people get fired.
when they're that disruptive, when they're
Yeah,
not willing
yeah,
to come toward you and you've got to continue to come toward them.
yeah.
Anyway, so that was a conversation that came out of board of directors, and these are really cool things. These are really fun things. I'm really glad we're doing these things with the community. Anyway, my provocation is a book. I'm reading a book right now, and I'm really, really
Oh,
enjoying it.
what book are you reading?
It's called Provoking Theater by Kamaginkas. He
Okay,
is a Lithuanian director, um,
okay.
and I thought I was going to read it and just kind of zoom through it, but like I'm slowly reading it because there's just all gold. Like I could just highlight almost every single word in there. Uh,
Wow.
I'm really, really enjoying reading this book. So I've had it for 15 years just on my shelf. I bought it. I think I bought it in grad school,
How do you
and
spell
then
his name?
Kama Ginkas, Ginkas.
Hmm.
Provoking
Provoking Theater
Theater.
by Kamaginkis. I
That's
see
it.
it.
There it is. So it's I think it's good. I would like to meet this person at one point. I'm probably not going to. He's old.
How
Um,
old?
he's
Do you
probably
think we
in
can get him on a
his.
podcast?
I doubt. Well, he doesn't speak English, so no. Um, does not speak
Is the
English.
book in English?
The book is in English. Yes, the book is translated. It's all basically interviews, um, and it's really it's interesting. It's good. I think it's good. Kamaginkis, Provoking Theater. Check that out. That's my provocation for this week. Has nothing to do with our topic, but maybe it kind of does because he's talking about he talks about the pathology of the actor. There's a beautiful
Ooh.
chapter in there, which is really quite um, interesting to read for actors. And he the way he thinks about spectators and the audience is how we think about audience as well. So check that out.
Oh, are we okay? Are we doing book? Are we gonna do book
We
suggestions?
do need to announce our book club at some point too.
Oh dear.
Dear, I know. We gotta talk about that offline. Yeah.
Yeah, that stresses me out because I'm not ready to reveal a book yet.
Okay. Well, we got to do it in February. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
that's not going to be my provocation.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I do actually,
You want to
because
do a book?
it's a book that we were focusing on, and I think we need to bring this book back into our book list for our training in Bali as well because it's the perfect book to actually integrate and address what the book is all about. The Four Agreements
Yeah.
by Don Miguel Ruiz.
That's great. Yeah.
It's a staple.
Yeah. Why wasn't that in our last three book clubs? Why? Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna add it to our reading list for Bali because it's a really great. It's a short book and it's clear and it's the old Toltec belief system and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Good book.
Adam Marble, how do you know what these people are doing all this stuff?
Well, they're going to go to speakpipe.com/theater of others. Again,
Mm,
speakpipe.com/theater of others, theater with an RE, theater of others, all one word. Leave a 90-second voice message on there. We'd love to
okay.
hear your voices and your questions or provocations to us.
Hmm.
But you can also send those things to podcast@theaterofothers.com. We are also reachable on Instagram, Facebook,
On the
and our
gram,
website.
y'all. Well, we're not on
So
TikTok. Aren't they banning TikTok now?
it is officially banned in the United States now. So
So we're losing our TikTok account in America.
well, you can continue to TikTok for the rest of the world if you want to, but yes, America will not be getting your little moments of gold that you share with them.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
now our
Marco.
audience is segregated. Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, segregation is back.
But the only way they're going to know if you are even on TikTok at all is if they do what, Booty?
Watch the movie Arrival
That's true. True.
and
Just do that.
subscribe. Because we come to your inbox early. Can you believe that we actually come to people's inboxes early, Adam?
5 years, 268, 69 episodes.
Every week?
Every week. We have not
What?
missed. We have not missed. We've
I
never
know, and
missed.
it's been
We've
rough
been late.
sometimes. We're like, ugh.
We've been late, but we never missed.
Well, you got to stay ready so that you ain't got to get ready, okay?
Exactly.
And then if
Yeah.
you really like us, you could be like my Uber driver and give us 5 stars. I give you 5 stars. You give me 5 stars. And then it is a zero sum. We all win that game. And the game is all about getting those 5 stars. Ew.
Huh?
And if you like us more than 5 stars, you can give us a comment and say, they're so good, I want to give them 5.2 stars. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then it goes into the algorithm because you've given us 5 stars, you subscribe to us, and you're leaving comments, and it goes because the aliens are coming in 2025. And then we go from the top 5% podcast in the world to the top what, Adam? 1% podcast in the world.
Hmm?
Hallelujah. And you know what happens when we're the top 1% podcast in the world, Adam Marple?
Dude, I'm
Who's
looking forward
coming?
to it.
You know who's coming?
Oprah.
Oprah. Yeah, Oprah's coming. Oprah's definitely going to be here. Well, she got a new book. She brought back Eckhart Tolle for her book club. So she's going to be here. She going
Great.
to be here.
She gonna be here.
She loved their number ones. She loved their number
Mm,
ones.
mm.
I just want to say, Oprah Winfrey, thank you so for much.
So for much.
Thank you so for much. And you know, when Miss Oprah Winfrey comes, she's going to come.
Mm, Queen Bee.
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Beyonce.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Lady B. Lady B is going to be here with her cowboy hat and her horse. Okay.
You won't break my soul. You won't break
You
my
won't
soul.
break my soul. Okay. And you know Beyonce. You know who we following Beyonce.
Yep. She won't be attending the inauguration, but she will be coming to the
Oh,
podcast.
well, it's because it's the African American holiday.
She skipped she skipped Jimmy Carter's funeral, so she didn't have to sit next to him, and she's skipping inauguration, so she doesn't have to see him.
Black
But
women don't want us. Yeah, black women are boycotting America for the next 4 years.
that's okay. That's okay. She can come on our podcast.
Yeah. You know who is that?
Michelle
Michelle
Obama.
Obama. Okay, exactly. It's Michelle Obama. Okay. And
Speaking
you
of
know what?
speaking of somebody who's going to boycott the U.S. for the next 4 years.
Well, but which is why she's probably going to be a co-star on our show because she got time. Oh, grrr.
Can't wait to have that laugh on the podcast.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who is it, Adam Marple? Miss who? Kamala Mamala Harris. Oh, grrr. Mamala 2028. We got you, girl. We got you. We're going to win 2028. Anyways, Anna Merple, it's so good to see you. I love
You
you.
as well. You love you too. Go to bed.
I'm so sleepy. It's 9:30 at night.
I hate you.
It's 9:30 at night, and I'm in Bali.
Jesus.
Well, I got a tattoo today.
Oh, what'd you get?
Well, I got to touch up, and then I got another tattoo on my chest because today is Kajekliwan, which is the conjunction day for charging images, but it's also the ceremony for Wayan Kulit, which is the shadow puppetry and images. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a double auspicious day. So I've taken a lot of students because they all want to get tattoos and meet my tattoo artist. So I took a caravan to my tattoo artist, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, so what are you getting?" I said, "Oh no, I'm not getting anything. Maybe just like this little touch up because it's an auspicious day. You have to."
Yeah.
And tattoos that
Okay,
he
Leo.
did have taksu. Julian Elijah Martinez got a new tattoo, and he also touched up his old one that he had did 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Mm. I don't know what I'm going to do this time around. I know where it needs to be. I just don't know what it's going to say.
Where are you going to put it?
I'll put it on the other side where Jiggly Arms. Jiggly Arms is on this one. You got a little.
Yeah.
I'll put it
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
What language?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out what's.
Do you want to do you want it to be in solidarity with what's happening in the world?
Maybe.
I'm just throwing something out there.
What are you throwing out there?
I don't know. Croatian?
Croatian? What's happening in Croatia that I don't know about? Solidarity with the world? What's poor You've heard it here first, folks. Croatia doesn't exist anymore.
Maybe it should be alien. In an alien language. When they arrive, they will have their own language, and we can put it on your arm. Ask them what
Okay.
theater. We can find out what theater is, and we'll put it on your arm. So you have jiggly arms on one side, and then you have an alien language on the other.
Halas.
Inshallah, inshallah. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too. Have a great rest of the time.
And for all of y'all on the other side of the world, we'll be in your inbox next week. Bye!
Thanks for joining us this week on the Theater Brothers podcast. Make sure to visit our website, theaterbrothers.org, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. A special thank you to Purple Planet for the music you've heard. The Theater Brothers creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purposes of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The
purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task and requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? Be sure to tune in next week for our next journey.